17 years, a special national investigation agency court in Mumbai acquitted 7 accused, including former BJP MP Pragya Singh Thakur and Lieutenant Colonel Shrikant Purohit in the 2008 Malegaon blast case. All accused were out on bail. The blast, which ripped through Malegaon town in Nashik district on the 29th of September 2008, claimed 6 lives and left over 100 injured. Now let's take a look at what the verdict says. Let's break down the details. All accused acquitted, all acquitted of UAPA and other charges that were leveled against them. Terrorism has no color, not enough evidence to convict, benefit of doubt to all the accused. Suspicion can't lead to conviction. The verdict, the order also said there's no cogent proof to prove the conspiracy. There is no proof that Sadhvi possessed the vehicle, the motorbike, remember, on which the bomb was planted. Order number 9, there is no proof of RDX at Colonel Purohit's house. Order number 10, no proof that Purohit assembled the bomb. This is what the verdict says about the involvement, about no proof to prove the conspiracy angle. Now, this, of course, has led to a lot of political reactions coming in, with the BJP leaders and their allies hitting out at the Congress, asking all those who tagged the accused in the Malegaon bomb blast case terrorists even before the courts gave their verdicts. Will they today apologize? Let's also tell you about what Sadhvi, Pragya and Colonel Purohit have said after the court acquitted them. Pragya said, I was arrested and tortured. Case ruined my entire life. This is a plot to defame Bhagwa. Bhagwa won, Hindutva won. God will punish the guilty, punish those who defamed India. Then you have the reaction, the first reaction of Lieutenant Colonel Purohit, who said, got a chance to save the country. I served my country and army. I was framed in Malegaon case. Don't blame any organization. Wrong people in organizations. People's faith in system restored. This is how both Pragya Thakur and Lieutenant Colonel Shrikant Purohit, who had to endure torture behind the bars, who were tagged terrorists for 17 long years, even before the courts could pronounce them guilty, have to say. Pragya Thakur says, this has ruined my entire life. Colonel Shrikant Purohit today says he's not going to blame anyone. There are wrong people in organizations. Now, as far as Pragya Thakur and Colonel Purohit are concerned, these are two central figures in the Malegaon blast case. They've been acquitted of all charges after years of intense legal and public scrutiny. Sadhvi Pragya, who was arrested and tortured, has openly stated that her case destroyed her life and was part of a plot to defame the Bhagwa ideology. She says she was called for an investigation and she was later arrested and tortured. She also went on to say this is a plot to defame Bhagwa. Let me go across to the panel. Joining us on the broadcast, we have Shashank Shekhar Jha, lawyer of the Supreme Court, Dr. Akashdeep Muni, political analyst on the broadcast. Good afternoon to the both of you. Let me first go across to Dr. Akashdeep Muni. I'm being told that we also have RSN Singh joining us. Let me first go across to Dr. Muni. Dr. Muni, will all those who tagged Pragya Thakur, Colonel Purohit and others terrorists, will they apologize today? That's the moot point.
See, Swatiji, the Malegaon case has been murkier and the facts say that there is more to come on it. I'll just give you some examples. In June 2015, Rohini Salian publicly stated that the NIA officers approached her allegedly at the behest of higher authorities after BJP government took power and asked her to soften her prosecution of individuals linked to Hindu extremist groups. Now, in October 2015, in front of the court, she named the officer as Superintendent of Police Suhas Varke, under whose direction she claimed the instructions were conveyed. Now, my point is that what action did NIA take against Suhas Varke? Did NIA investigate this? No. Till now, there has been nothing. NIA took 4 years from taking over the case in 2011 to conducting substantial investigation, raising questions about selective delay and prosecution bias. The biggest statement I want to say, the NIA later accused the ATS, yes, especially during the 2611 martyr.
No, I have asked you a completely different question.
Dr.
Muni, I have asked you a completely different question. You
No,
can talk about going to higher courts.
Apologize.
You can question the agencies. By the way, it was the ATS that did the initial investigation. You can bring up all the legal points. My simple question to you is, all those who jumped the gun and said this is Bhagwa Atankwad, this is saffron terror, these people are terrorists, shouldn't they apologize today? Or was this a narrative that was peddled as per political convenience?
Swati, this is simple. There are many contradictions here, and many people who acknowledged the witnesses retracted their statements, and they said that they were forced. And it was NIA who accused the ATS initially. This shows that there should not be an apology. This should be taken in the further courts, because there is more things to come in this. This is not the end of the Malegaon case. You I'll give you examples. There has been many people who have many witnesses.
Muni, you're not answering my question. Like I said, you can make all the legal points. You can make all the legal points. You can make all the legal points that you want to. You can talk about higher courts. You don't want to comment on the observations of this court. No evidence to show that the bomb was planted on the vehicle. No evidence of RDX found at Colonel Purohit's residence. Let me go across to RSN Singh. RSN Singh, till now there has been no apology. Pragya Thakur broke down in the court today, said this has ruined my entire life, and we've heard about the kind of torture that she and Colonel Purohit had to endure. Why?
Let me tell you, refresh you with the background that between 2004 and 2008, a series of bomb blasts all across the country, east, west, north, south, and thereafter the dispensation, it decided that, they have to balance it with some kind of a Hindu terror. They in cahoots with Lashkar-e-Toiba, Hafiz Sahab, to some of them, the planners, they decided to stage 2611 in tandem with Lashkar-e-Toiba and the ISI. So they had to build a background of Hindu terror. So they staged this Malegaon, and Malegaon 2, they did, so they had to justify Malegaon 1. Now this gentleman must, hear, it's on record, DGP Pasricha saying that we have scientifically proven that so and so, some of the people from one community were involved in Malegaon 1. And then what happened is that after they did 2611, they started revisiting all the previous samjhauta. Your channel carried out the narco test of Nagori. It was displayed on your channel. What did he say? आज तक आपने कहीं सुना है कि पाकिस्तानी के जो लोग पकड़े गए थे उसको कहा आप जाइए यहां से, और they were telling पाकिस्तान के आपने नहीं किया, हमारे लोगों ने किया. और मैं आपको, let me disclose to you one thing. Do you know, ma'am, that it is not the rank which counts? I'll tell you, when he was taken to a location X, he was tortured in front of his father-in-law, and the DGP then, he pushed a paper to sign that from Pune to the Devlali, Colonel Purohit was carrying weapons. And then that old man stood up and he said, "You shut up." His wife stood up. And they know what they did. They told him that, you go back from here. He said, "Give me a vehicle." By that time, they had thrashed him nice and proper at an X location. I'm still telling you, X location, they did it.
Okay.
So he told the DGP that I am not able to walk back. You will go home back, just leave me on the road. And then, finally, when he was picking his bags, let me complete this story. There was one policeman who fell on his feet, and he said, "Ki sahab, aap mat jao idhar se. Mujhe ye dekhiye, ye pistol di gayi hai, aapko marne ke liye." And this is the difference.
Okay.
This is the difference between a Paramjeet and maybe. तो ये rank से कुछ नहीं होता है, ma'am. And we can see these. We heard these elements in the parliament yesterday. The Pakistan within India survives.
Okay.
And it thrives. And this gentleman, what is the credibility of Rohini Salia? I have been with her on. What is she? Who is she?
Okay. Okay. RSN.
What is the credibility?
RSN Singh. And now that both Sadhvi, Pragya and Lieutenant Colonel Purohit along with others have been acquitted by the court, they'll definitely present their side of the story. Everybody is waiting to know from Colonel Purohit and Pragya Thakur. Let me go across to some breaking inputs coming in on the broadcast, and we've accessed what Colonel Purohit told court. In fact, he began by chanting Jai Hind. This is what Colonel Purohit said. He said, I am a soldier. I love my country. I will continue to serve the nation. I was framed in a fabricated case. Don't want to blame anyone. Thank the judiciary for the verdict. Faith of common man has been restored. I want to also go across to Mr. Jha. Mr. Jha, questions are today going to also be raised on the ATS that did the initial investigation. The case went on for 17 years. The torture that Colonel Purohit and Pragya Thakur had to endure, and throughout the course of this period, they maintained that this is a fabricated case and that, one day justice will be done.
Namaste Swati ji and my fellow panelists here. Swati ji, this case, Malegaon blast case, was not only against these 7 accused, but the entire Hindu community at large. When you are blaming the entire Hindu community while labeling this particular act as a Hindu saffron terrorism, you are actually targeting the entire community. You have arrested 7 people and then started the trial, gave the case to NIA, and the torture we have heard here. No, we need to understand that before coming to this judgment today, court has evaluated 323 witnesses, 8 eyewitnesses, 10,800 documents, and across 1,300 pages. Thereafter, court said that there is not an iota of doubt against these 7 accused. So be it Colonel Purohit or Sadhvi Pragya, everyone was accused in this case merely because they were Hindus. And like rightly pointed out by Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah yesterday in Parliament, a Hindu can never be a terrorist. So, it was a balancing act because there were too many Islamist attacks in this country during UPA era, bomb blasting everywhere here and there, and with the involvement of Pakistan and, other powers. So it was an act to also include Hindu in a bad light and do something like an equivalent to that of Islamic terrorism. So for example, if there is Lashkar-e-Taiba or there is Jamaat-e-Dawa, etc., so you need to have a counterpart, and that's how they targeted Avinav Bharat and targeted these Sadhvis. So while acquitting them, the NIA court specifically said that Sadhvi has already renounced the marital life 2 years before this blast, and the entire incident was very sham. So like as far as your question is concerned,
right,
I feel that there must be investigation against everyone who were involved to do this conspiracy against Hindu community at large.
All right, stay on with this, gentlemen. Let's also listen into what the Home Minister said yesterday in the Parliament. Now remember, this is not just a legal verdict, it's a political landmine. During the UPA years, Congress leaders coined and popularized the term Hindu terror. The BJP and Sangh Parivar hit back, calling it a deliberate attempt to defame Sanatan Dharma and appease vote banks. And just yesterday, hours before the verdict, Union Home Minister Amit Shah stood in the Rajya Sabha and declared, I proudly say Hindus can never be terrorists.
हिंदू टेरर का सगुफा किसने छोड़ा? मैं आज दुनिया के सामने, देश की जनता के सामने गर्व से कहता हूं कि हिंदू कभी टेररिस्ट नहीं हो सकता। हम कभी टेररिस्ट नहीं हो सकते। क्या कहना चाहते हैं? फर्जी टाइप के केस बनाए, एक भी केस अदालत में नहीं टिका। देशभक्त संगठनों पर आरोप लगाए आपने, सिर्फ आपकी छिछोरी राजनीति के लिए, क्षुल्लक फायदे के लिए।
Well, it's very important here to say and state that the court has made it absolutely clear while acquitting all the accused in the Malegaon blast case that there was no evidence to prove conviction, and that mere suspicion cannot lead to conviction. Gentlemen, stay on with us. A very quick break, Mr. Jha. I'll come back to you after a short break.